Good evening, welcome back to the Students StarCraft AI tournament. It is, well, my turn to take over from Shonko. Every other week we'll be alternating broadcasts, and, well, today nothing too much has happened really. We've got a drone harassing the depot, and, well, that's taking one SCV off work, but once Marine pops out, the drone gets stuck and killed, so that's very unfortunate. Now, the adversary of the day it needs no introduction, it's Killerbot by Marion Diveka, and I would like to have a look at Redrum, because, well, I don't really know too much about it. It does seem to be going for some kind of early aggression with a lot of Marines and some workers for backup, and a handful of workers remain at home with 2 barracks pumping Marines, and Killerbot appears to be sadly unprotected for the time being. He's got 1 sunken. Quick lair coming up, but no lings at all, nothing. So I think that this expansion is going to be deconstructed very soon. Worker gets killed, and, well, that's about all, I suppose. No extra. Oh dear, that's very brave. Okay, so we are going to have 1 sunken. It's not really ideally timed, but I think the extractor might just buy some additional time, and oh dear, the larvae will as well, so we'll have 2 sunkens ready, just about close enough to protect the gas mining drones. So I think that Killerbot is not doing too badly. That is... oh, that's not clever, but that's not clever at all. Oh, here goes another one. Yeah, you can sort of see where this is going, and now... oh god, this is sort of sloppy. And Redrum is going to, well, mill depots after that. And the drone count of Killerbot is going to tank horribly. Now going to build more sunkets and hopefully not send any more SCVs drones out into the fray. But right now you've got a muter play with only, well, 8 drones and a lot of sunkens. So I'd say this is a lot of sunkens. Now, will we have some muters as well? What's it building? It's building drones. It's only got 1 hatchery. So right now it's prioritizing drones over muters or whatever, so this is not really... could do with another hatch. Got the money. Oh god, this is going to be painful to watch. Sending out drones 1 at a time to get themselves killed. Worker count now 12, so there is some kind of a mechanic to keep the drones in base. Oh, and now a Hydra then. Oh, and another drone kill. Then another one. So this is pretty sad for a very good bot to get stuck like this. But we've got... will we have lurkers? Oh, we'll have siege mode soon too. But just sacrificing drone after drone, it's just beyond belief really. And doing this all of 1 hatchery is not really as adaptive as could have been. Wasting another... oh, and another drone. It's not good. Redrum going for an expansion, taking its sweet time, now having 4 barracks. And we'll have a siege tank with siege mode as well. The sunken's doing okay, and finally here comes another hatch, so perhaps we are going to see some muters in the near future. That is... oh, Overlord killed sort of supply block, but now we've got a siege tank all in all, and this is going to be atrocious. We've got Lurker Aspect, we've got Aspire, we've got Overlord Speed, but we haven't got a bot knowing how to build anything but drones, and if it builds drones it wants to sacrifice them, so... a little bit of pressure and your entire show comes off the rails. Oh, another hatch, that's pretty good. But the gas will soon be out. Not that that matters a lot, because you've got... oh, we've got 2 Hydras and 1 muter. That's pretty good. And a small group of muters surely is not going to clean up the entire army of by now 3 base Terran. Okay, so... that's that. How many muters have we got? Oh, we've got 9. That's quite a respectable size. Going for this base. Will we have turrets of any kind? No, we will not. And we've got a lurker as well. Have we got comset? Yes, we have. So the lurker should not be too much of a problem. But the Marines, they run from lurkers and muters, so that doesn't really work. And now Killerbot is not going to expand anymore, it seems. And although Redrum has got control of most of the map, it's falling apart in quite impressive style. Here goes the next base. Worker count is going to be in the sink. Oh, the Marines are fighting now. But it's not really working. Oh, and here come the lurkers as well. So work count's about to be equalized. No expansion yet for Killer. And Killer is very, very, very lucky that Redrum falls apart. Because Killer was trying to do this without an army. Oh, now only 6 Mutas left. And still 1 base. And Mutas finally get killed-ish. There are turrets now, so these Mutas, they sort of suicide and they can't wait for another update of Killerbot. But yes, as I said earlier, the Marines don't really want to fight these things called lurkers. Scans are not going off. Oh, there is only 1 comset. Oh, there are 2, but all expended, and the comset here is empty as well, and by now there is not an army left. So immediately Killer taking 2 more bases on the map. Worker count quite good for 1 base, and yeah. Building placement here is a bit wacky, but this base will soon be mined out anyway. And the race is won, so congratulations, Killer. Redrum, nice bit of pressure, but you have got to follow it up a little bit better than that. So next game up is Halpan versus McRave. Halpan has been working very, very, very diligently at his bot, pushing a lot of updates, and well, let's see. It started with iron, and then ooh, nice war, like that. And I think that the SCV might fall, and just in the nick of time gets out. Very cleverly done. The probe is stuck, no army at all. Same goes for McRave though. McRave is teching very hard, and now having his tech scouted very thoroughly by this this SCV. So yeah, this is very ballsy 1 base tech play for a Protoss versus a Terran. And the Terran will now have a siege tank as well. Might have siege mode coming up. Yes, nearly done. And well, Protoss, what are you going to do? Because Terran is just going to sit back on 2 bases. Okay, build 3 bases. That's a good start. Tech is decent as well. And so you now have to go out on the map and not let Terran get map control. 3rd base nearly done. Natural 4, Halpan up and running. Couple of tanks, 1 on the high ground. Nice touch there. Oh, more tanks on the high ground. That's very good. Nice ranging as well. So it's good to see that more and more Terrans are going to use the high ground, especially versus Protoss. A goon would have to run up to here in full view of the bunker and couldn't really do much. Lots of mines on the map, that's good. Oh, this Vulture is really doing a number on these poor probes. That must be about 10 kills. Wow. Very impressive, and 1 or 2 cannons would not have hurt to have had in place. So, Terran now going for the mineral only, and quite a nice bit of tank. So, as a Protoss, you would really try and stop that. Because Terran has just got a lot of map control, and with the mines and the vultures can just see what's going on, blow up a couple of units here and there. And although Protoss does have an observer in the air now, it is well, kind of hard as a Protoss to get out of this constricting play of Terran. And Halpan is keeping a lot of tanks at home, but here they come, and the question is, where will they go? Not all that far. Now going to play a bit of a leapfrog with 2 tanks. We've got 2 groups of 4 tanks, and now the goons are in range, but they don't really want to commit. But they could have overrun this, especially, I don't know what's in the shuttle, but that's a lot of goons, and a small pocket of tanks like this could have easily been overrun. And it looks like McRave doesn't really have, because now you're at the natural choke, and these tanks will just contain you and blast you till you're dead. Here is a large Protoss army as well, but can't really get anything done, and now the siege is up. Nice storms going off. Halpan doesn't dodge them at all. That was pretty pro. And another storm in the rear. Tanks getting damaged. There is 1 SCV for repair, but it's just the main engagement which is a problem for Protoss still, in this case McRave. How to take on an army with tanks. You really need concerted effort for that. And it looks like Halpan is having its way with McRave. McRave, another base for Halpan, not defended at all. So that's where you are at this point. Oh, we are going to see a drop. That's new. And no, that base cannot be taken. Here comes... Here comes... I totally lost track of that dropship. I don't know. Pity. But the game is played, and McRave couldn't make it work against the tanks again. Oh dear, dear, dear. That's not good at all. Poor Protoss really have to find a reliable way to deal with siege tanks, and still, after all these years, the siege tank and the carrier are such units as cannot be dealt with without superb play. And now we've got Simplicity versus Cherry Pie, and Simplicity is going to put up 2 Sunkens in the quick, and 1, 2. Oh, that's very nicely defended by Simplicity. Spent a bit of drones though, but has got a good drone count, and Cherry Pie has got the natural and of course the map advantage. So Simplicity will not anytime soon be able to exert some map pressure, but here comes a quick spire. At least I think it will, and Cherry Pie is going for more hatches, so might try to do some kind of a link push, just build a lot of links out of 3 hatches. Worker count is okay, might build 1 or 2 or 4 more, would be great. And these 2 Zerglings of Simplicity are doing pretty well. Here comes the Spire, I believe, and another hatch. So I think that the cards are stacked in this way that Cherry Pie will try to overrun Simplicity with Zerglings. Worker count is increasing now because the natural's up and running. More income coming out for Cherry Pie as well. This is an Overlord, not a Ninja expansion. And with 3 hatches, what's this drone going to do? It's going to make up its mind. It's going for some kind of a tech build. It might be a Hydra then. Spire will be nearly done, and with 2 hatches I think you can produce a couple of mutas at the same time. And Cherry Pie really ought to go and do something about that. This drone is very brave, but it's heading back now, so these 2 Sunkens are really worth their weight in gold. Oh, and this is a big mistake. The mutas are sitting back on their soft behinds, and they could do some. Oh, they're finding an Overlord. That's good. But you see Cherry Pie immediately putting up a couple of spores just to help him deal with these pesky mutas, going for a lair as well. And the mutas are being routed instead of trying to find a way around this Sunken, or trying to hover over the cliffs, pick off some workers, deal with the Zergni army. And now Cherry Pie is basically having its way. Worker counts equal, but Cherry Pie is 1 base up, and that's an advantage which could not be. Yeah, this is not good. So you're basically wasting an entire muta fleet on 1 Sunken, but you could have killed it. They could have persevered and killed the Sunken, and then they would have control of the main base, but that's just a calculation which doesn't really work. And now Cherry Pie is going to have a go at the main, but Simplicity is too laid back with the mutas. It's not going to work. Cherry Pie is losing some Zerglings here in the main, but that's so hard for a bot to decide. Well, just overrun a spore, take the losses, and kill the base connected with it completely. And now Cherry Pie, losing a lot of workers. Oh, but in the main with 1 muta. And Cherry Pie finds exactly the weak spot which it needs to. And Simplicity going for 1 kill and completely ignoring the spore is now, yes, killing the spore. That was really well done. And no, there are 2 more spores there. You don't need to do that. Just kill the natural. Kill it. Kill it. But they're coming back for reasons. And lots of tech here, but really could do with another base. And Cherry Pie is being thrown back a little bit. That's very good for Simplicity. Cherry Pie doesn't really know what to do. Cherry is committing to Zerglings a lot. And here come the mutas of Simplicity once again. It's 7 versus 1, and there are some Scourge, but there is just no spore here anymore. So basically this base is open for grabs, and it might have been a good choice not to kill it, because Cherry Pie is bound to feed drones and Zerglings into it, and then you'll have all kinds of secondary loot you can pick off. And now, Simplicity really ought to prioritize getting another base in. Losing a couple of mutas, only 5 left, not really making all that many more, building another hatch. But I think that Cherry Pie can't really get things done anymore. But Simplicity is not really analysing how well it's muted. Oh, here comes some more mutas. That's excellently done. And Cherry Pie with 2 mutas and 2 Scourge trying to get a grip on the game, but he is going to lose the natural, looks like. And the Scourge, That was really poor play by Simplicity. This muta, these backup mutas arriving in the nick of time. right before this one muter. Oh, and Cherry Pie just clips it. That's very good. Knows when to commit to just getting another kill in. And Simplicity ought to clean up this mess over here, or do something with all its Hydras. And with the Hydras and the Muters, you could just push these Zerglings back and then try and do damage over here, because as long as you got the air advantage, it will be some while before Cherry Pie has got a sizable Muter force at all. And now these Muters are sitting back at home regenerating. That's pretty unpretty. But you can see that Cherry Pie with the Zergling just can't get it done anymore. And now, perhaps Simplicity will be able to take another base. The Muters are routing the Zergling with Scourge. We've got 6 Muters, that's not a lot, but it will force Cherry Pie to run, and you've really got to expand and trying to increase your standing in the game. The Zergling kill counter is rising rapidly. And another thing that Simplicity is doing very well is keeping the Muter count of Cherry Pies down. No, that's not a drone. And it will be really interesting to see how this game is going to play out if neither of these players will take another base. Cherry Pie had one, but it's sort of falling apart. And yeah, that was a large portion of the Hydra army. It's now 3 Muters versus 0. Oh, and there is another base for Simplicity, so this might just be the key, and you just need to move your army over here, pretty please, before the natural gets... oh god. And that's just dropping the ball big time. And then retreating your entire army when it could fight, and you have got some Muters to help deal with the Zerglings. That's... so right now, Simplicity is not really getting its play together. Versus the Zerglings of Cherry Pie, it's doing okay. You can see a lot of upgrades in Simplicity's camp, and now the natural gets retaken. So the question is, as always, where are the Muters? And right now it seems like Cherry Pie's got the Muter battle under control. It's got more Muters, it's got some Scourge as well. There are some Spores here as well. But with the ground army as it is, oh yes, kill the Muters and they're just going to die to the Zerglings. You can see it happening, it's just too bad. And the Zerglings are blustering over here, and one Muter and a handful of Zerglings are killing all the Hydras, and the Muters are not doing... oh, finally they're going to come and help, but it's rather late. But it seems like Simplicity has got the Muter upper hand, and with some Sunkens over here, and especially with the added income, and with the prolonged income, although Cherry Pie has restarted its natural as well, there is one Zergling nibbling at it, so that might be good, but right now it's very hard to predict how this battle is going to go, and oh, this is very good. So static defenses in the natural choke, I believe, are going to be the key in fending off the aggression of Cherry Pies. Lots of Scourge though. Oh, and it's a Sunken. So with a Sunken and perhaps a Spore, yes, that is just a very good combination to help him deal with. Although Cherry Pie's Muter count is growing, and with another base that will mean another gas soon too, and it's got a lot of hatches, so it can build more workers. Oh, and Simplicity is doing this expertly, just sneaking out one drone, getting up another base, and the worker count slightly in favor of Cherry Pie, and already its natural is fortified, and now there are Muters. Oh, there were Muters, and they get swiftly kicked out of the base of Cherry Pie, and Cherry Pie might just win this overexertion of Simplicities, and running in. There are a lot of links, but the static defenses and the rallies sort of hold, and this is a bad thing because you might just give away your position. But Cherry Pie is, taking a third as well, and immediately Simplicity is defending its third, so it's a pretty good ZVZ. The start was pretty slow, and now Simplicity is going into macro mode. Worker count still a little bit low. That might not be the ideal choice, and I also believe that if Cherry Pie gets a large group of units together, it will have got great knowledge of where to strike, when to strike, and how to strike, and I think that Simplicity will have to have very good control to... now sending the Muters on a tour into the main base, looks like, while Cherry Pie's Muters are over here, and the group is still growing. It's 9 versus 9 Muters each. 2 free overlords taken over here. And the Zerglings, of course, running into the natural, doing some damage. Can't really establish how many kills were made. Oh, and now Cherry Pie committed to a raid on the workers, doing very well. The Spore is just not covering this area over here, and now the Mutas of Simplicities are coming back. Let's look at the upgrades. Simplicity has got +1 air attack, no armor, and Cherry Pie hasn't got any upgrades at all, but I think that it's still very hard to call. Worker count quite equal. It's 3 versus 4 bases, Simplicity taking another one, and if Cherry Pie can't hurt the economy of Simplicity, it's going to be increasingly hard because it's got 2 bases, and right now Simplicity has got 2, and some skirmishes are going on, which I am missing. Muta count increasing for Simplicity, and the Sunken is doing a lot of damage, but there aren't any ground forces, and the Zerglings are killing the Spore. That's very well done, and now the Natural's open for grabs, and Simplicity is... what's Simplicity trying to do? It's got an army, but the army is over here doing God knows what, and the entire Natural, including all the workers, are being killed, and even the hatch might fall. The hatch! Where are the bloody Mutas? They were here just minutes ago. Oh, they are playing tag with Cherry Pie's Mutas, and the Muta count for Simplicity is down. Simplicity is dropping an army, and Cherry Pie pounces, and that is what you are got to be very wary of. Cherry Pie has got excellent decision making on when to attack, where to attack, and now Simplicity has got, it's a bit of a peasant's nation really. It's got a lot of workers and a lot of bases, but hasn't really got a nice army, and also the army value of Cherry Pie is just better. And the Natural is lost, and that's a big loss for Simplicity. Simplicity taking more bases, so we'll have the potential to re-establish an army, but the quality of the army is just not there, and right now it's Mutas killing Zerglings, and you can see that even if you have got 60 Zerglings, you need to attack with them. These bases are virtually defenseless, only anti-air defenses, and defending your main, which is not really doing anything with a lot of Zerglings, is not working at all, and Cherry Pie immediately is on the move with a lot of Mutas, and no gas is being mined anywhere for Simplicity. That's just bad at this point. This is just one drone working on one depleted geyser, and there is no gas anywhere, so Cherry Pie is being helped to this victory. 70 Zerglings and nothing done with them. That's just wanton army management at this point. You could just overrun this base. Only Sunken spores. This one too. More spores coming up, and that's a fault on Cherry Pies, and it's got to be very happy that Simplicity is not exploiting it. But now all the income for Simplicity is gone. There are some drones standing around over here, and Cherry Pie prevails in the end with the better decision making, and that shows that you have got to have good decision making. So next game up will be Banana versus Halpan. And I would like to see Halpan play it one earlier versus McRave. Let's see if Banana Brain can deal better. Oh, it's going to lay on some early pressure. That's always good. Sort of a bunker rush, or sort of bunker rush. This is exactly a bunker rush, taking a lot of mining time out of the probes. The Marine Micro could be a little bit better, but a lot of mining time is lost, and it's a counter proxy. And now the Zealot does find the barracks, and let's see what's happening in the main base. No defenses here at all, and now the Zealots are over here, and the Marines are over there. And Marines are not going to bother with the Zealots, and the Zealots are not going to bother with the Marines. Oh, now finally one. Oh, and this Marine will just be able to join up. And right now you really ought to try and build another bunker right here in this spot, but the economy for Halpan is limited as well, and now, oh no, the Zealots are going to try and save the main base. The Marines are still there, wasting a lot of mining time, but otherwise not getting anything done. Might kill some Zealots. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and now Banana Brain is in a lot of trouble. Only has got these two gateways over there. And losing a lot of mining time, losing a lot of units, but slowly but surely the Marines are getting cleaned up. The Marine Micro is not as prim as could be, and now the Proxy Barracks is heading back home, and with a couple of Vultures, ooh, Banana Brain getting a lot of damage back with these ranged goons, but still got this, this bunker with 3 Marines in the main base, killing a lot of workers, a huge lot of workers actually. That's not good at all, but the army count for Protoss is rising, and there aren't any tanks out yet, so Oh, there is one tank, but it's playing defense, and now the mines are there. The mines! Oh, God, that's always a bit iffy for goons if they are not really aware of the mines. And still, these 3 marines are doing a lot of damage, and I believe that more priority should have been given to clearing up the main base, and now the goons are coming back to do just that. And there aren't any SCVs, so although these goons might incur some damage... Oh, the marine count's pretty low now anyway, so... That goes really rather well, and then we'll still have 2 gateways out on the map, and no production save this robotics facility in Banana Brain's base. And well, Halpan did well with the bunker rush, but now hasn't really got an army to speak of, and we'll have 1 or 2 vultures out on the map. Ooh, 2 tanks in a very exposed position, trying to... Now let's see if, yes, Banana Brain will take care of these tanks. Has got an observer as well, so Halpan might just lose right here and now. 1 tank with siege mode, no marines in the bunker, that's a big mistake. There is a barracks, but there aren't just any marines, and although the repair is there and the tank has got the high ground, the vultures are trying to push back the goons with the mines. And the repair is still there, yes, and I think that Halpan just holds, and now more tanks starting to blast down from the high ground. And I say this is a very exciting match. A very nice play by both players. Banana Brain trying to commit to clear Halpan's tanks off the high ground. And now the vultures are still killing... Oh, God! The vultures have completely decimated the base. And because production's over here and, well, there aren't any forces anymore. Shuttle O and all the workers are getting killed. And this is the game. So, yeah, Banana Brain leaves, couldn't save the main base. Halpan, by sheer tenacity with the vultures, will have 1 more. So, Simplicity versus Halpan. Simplicity just got a very good play together versus Cherry Pie, but couldn't really pull it off due to superior decision making by Cherry Pie, and now has got the game under control. This bunker rush doesn't really work. We've got 2 Sunkens, and these marines, a human player would just march them straight round and kill all the workers, but for a bot that's apparently still very hard to do. And ooh, although Halpan was trying to do it, but the SCVs sort of cut them, the Zerglings sort of cut them off. Now it's an awkward standoff between Zerglings and marines, and it will cost Simplicity dearly to clear out these marines and this bunker. And notwithstanding, marines will no longer be produced, but there is a vulture, and the vulture is going round the bend, but will get sniped by the Zerglings, and the Zerglings are doing excellently. And now the Zerglings are having a hard time dealing with the vulture. Will we have some forces better suited to deal with vultures? No, we will not in the near future. What will we get? We will get an Evo chamber, some Hydras, so I believe that the Hydras will do okay versus the vultures. And as there are no marines in this bunker, oh, the Wraith. Well, I think Simplicity is doing okay with the Hydras. Will the Hydras have any upgrades? No, but so won't the Terran units, and the tanks are being produced, but they are still a long way off. And oh, Simplicity's playing very defensively with a Spore. I saw a Spore, yeah, 2 Spores, oh good. And really rather neglecting the need for another base, and Halpan is not going to lose a unit. And right now I think that once 1 or 2 tanks arrive, it will be very hard for Simplicity to get out of this mess. But here come the Hydras, and although the concave is there, I think the Hydra count is sufficient that Halpan doesn't dare engage, and a bad concave, or a concave which is not attacking, is not really working. But Simplicity is not really backing up the Hydra numbers at this point, making a lot of workers, which is not really needed at this point. You just need to clear out the Terran from your natural, build a natural, and deal with that. Lurkers might be good as well, that might be excellent. Going for Hydra, that's the +1. Oh, and Cloak over here, and ooh, that will be, oh sorry, that will be here. Cloak Wraiths might be good. And Simplicity should just sit back, take the natural, make sure that these raids here piss off, just post 1 or 2 here, and or a Spore and an Overlord might do as well. But right now, these 3 raids, although they're not getting the damage done, they do detain Simplicity's army, which is substantial in the natural choke. And Halpan, Halpan is sort of stuck because all these units are parked over here, not even able to take a natural at this point. That's not good at all. And although the vultures do take a lot of damage, not too many of them are getting killed, and Simplicity is still not taking this natural, and that is so crucial for bots, just to have a zone of control which they dominate. But you can see that Halpan is being driven back, and not really because it hasn't got the forces, because the forces are stuck on this SCV on the ramp, and that's very unfortunate. Now Simplicity still not taking another base. Killing some vultures, yes, that's always good. And this might just be the fatal mistake, but now you will have a lot of vultures with a lot of mines out on the map. And although the natural is started now for Simplicity, and the vultures are being pushed back further and further. More vultures are coming, and you can see that the Zerg is running. The Hydras are not putting up a fight. Well, one or two at a time, and now all the vultures are running from 2 Hydras. Yeah, it won't take them long to establish that that's not the wisest choice. And let's look at the upgrades. We've got Cloak, Siege Mode, and a lot of Zerg upgrades. So Simplicity doing okay upgrade-wise. Might take a Ninja expansion. And now the Hydras are rolling out. But you can see the army McRave is not really all that great. And although the Lurkers will kill vultures over the Hydras are doing quite excellently. They've got speed. They've got the +1. So, yes, that's... and the vultures get cornered. You can now see Halpan running out of army. It has got a natural and has got tanks. So, still anyone's game. Simplicity still only on 1 base. Excellently defended. It's very defensive play. And if you are on... the first tank, that's something you cannot do as a Terran, because now your natural's basically defenseless. And although Simplicity is taking its sweet time trying to kill all the strays, here we go, and that's your new natural. You could have done with some mines and a tank behind that, but I fear it's not going to be for today that Halpan will take this game. Versus Protoss, excellent, versus Zerg could be better. Now Simplicity has just taken a 3rd base. Worker count is pretty high, especially considering the entire work count of Halpan's got killed. More upgrades coming up, Hydro range, and yeah, that's the GG. So next game up is a nice PvP. We saw McRave earlier, Founder versus Halpan, now going to take on the Qutuz. And it's a 2-player map, so perhaps with an aggressive play, McRave might do business before the Qutuz's vultures hit the scene. ELO rating looks like this. We've got the Qutuz at 2,689, and then almost 150 points behind that Purple Wave, and then further back we've got 280 points down. 180 points down, and then basically the rest. And Proxy is doing okay. Killerbot dropped a little. Cherry Pie doing okay. Dragon dropped a lot actually. So it's still the Qutuz and Purple Wave before the rest, and the Qutuz has got a huge lead. And well, we've got the CRG deadline coming up, so perhaps after that we'll get some upgrades from top bots trying to contend with the Qutuz's dominance. But right now it's the Qutuz and Purple Wave, and Purple Wave's got these excellent build orders which might also snipe the Qutuz. So let's have a close look at the build orders. We've got 1 base. 1 base. That's a little bit later core here for McRave. The Qutuz is immediately going for the range, cleaning up the main. That's good. Sitting back. And McRave going for 2 more Zealots. And Zealots are okay, but then if you are going for Zealots, you need to put pressure on the enemy, because if the enemy gets an increased goon count, you can just pick off all the Zealots, and the Zealots will have been built in vain. So range nearly done for both players. No big difference there. And now you can see where the army compositions are going to come in, because we've got 2 Zealots and 4 Goons versus 4 Goons. Ooh, and now the Qutuz will have to run, but the Goons from the rear will catch up. And let's see how good McRave taking the first Goon kill. That's huge actually. And now the Zealots do reach, but the Zealots are fighting together with the Goons, and what you would like to see is that the Zealots will take on the Goons, and then your own Goons will catch up and do damage to the Goons as well, because now the Zealots are attacking, The Qutuz is ignoring them, but then they are retreating, and you need to have such good micro if you're going to fight with Zealots and Goons in tandem. And although the first couple of kills were for McRave, you can now see that the Qutuz, although at an army disadvantage, is actually doing more damage because it's... actually, it's taking a lot of shots, and it's still that Zealot, I think, which may... Yes, and now the Goons are all drawn out in a line falling towards the enemy instead of a concave. And the Qutuz is just king in keeping up a line to have maximum exposure to fire at the enemy. You can see this one moving a little bit back to the rear. Two at the flanks are very badly damaged, and in the rout they kill a lot of enemy Goons. And I say now, really, the game is won. Unless there is a Dark Templar thing coming up. The Qutuz now will have to maneuver the bridges, immediately stretching out to the right, creating an elongated front to get as much Goons firing as possible. And although McRave is trying to do it with the Zealots, I think it's not working. And the Qutuz is so very good in just taking the damage, getting up the ramp, taking some losses, but in the end might just be worth it with the rallies. McRave will probably hold, but no, it's just that the Goons of the Qutuz are too good, taking care of every little unit coming out of these gateways. And now it's 24 versus 2 army supply, 0 even, and the game is won. Workers are falling for McRave, natural started by the Qutuz, and this is what you are going to have to contend with if you want to take a major tournament. You've got to deal with these monstrous Goons of the Qutuz. Good game, very well played. It is amazing to watch. And yeah, that really, I can't help loving the way that the Qutuz is playing. It's so very beautiful, and everyone takes his own tack on how to deal with these Goons. Go Storm, go Reaver, go Zealot Goon to try and deal with that, but it's just very hard. The micro of these Goons is so immaculate. It's very, very, very hard to deal with. And now Banana Brain is going for... If this is going to be a SimCity, it's a pretty weird one. But you never know, and Steamhammer is going for quite a bit of hatches and a spawning pool. I like Zergs making more hatches because you can just put out more units and more drones, and you'll be more flexible once you've scouted what the enemy is doing. And the scouting overlord has done just that. Sees the forge, and this is going to be the core. Yes, there we go. And only one gateway, so this is going to be an eco-heavy build, and then you can drone up like a boss yourself. And that's not happening because we're going to see Hydras. And will we have upgrades for the Hydras as well? No, we have got an Evo chamber. And we're going to see Hydra speed and Goon range. So, this might be an interesting build to see. And if you've got these Hydras, just put pressure on the enemy, especially if you're going for speed. You can out-micro the Zealots easily. And no, dear, this is going to be Imber, because we are going to have a Corsair, and there aren't any spores. So the Hydras that... they are stuck now, that's very bad. The Hydras are being sent to the front because there is no pressure there at all. These Corsairs. So basically, as a Zerg, you are going to, especially as an AI, you need to keep some troops at home to defend versus the Corsairs, and you are going to have to attack as well. And with these independently micro Corsairs, they do pose... this one's getting stuck on the edge. That happens a lot as well. That's unfortunate, but hey, it's all in the details who is going to win this beautiful game today. And ideally, as a Zerg, you just put up one spore, group some overlords around it, and place perhaps 1 or 2 Hydras, or perhaps do it with the rallies, the defense. But now the Protoss has got a huge army and is going to steamroll, and now you've only got Hydras with some upgrades, that's true, and no lurkers in sight yet. And with the bridges and 2 Sunkens, you might do quite well, especially soaking up the first few Hydras. The Goons, they can't really move over, and now with 3 Sunkens, the adaptive play of Steamhammer is actually quite nice. This third base is going to serve it quite well if it doesn't get spotted. And although Banana Brain has got the lead, these Hydras should be kept in the rear a little bit, and this drone should not do that, but you can see that Banana Brain is losing quite a bit as well. And with a couple of spores, it might just be a little bit easier for Steamhammer to defend its base. Although it will have a third base up, the Sunkens are just killing such a lot of units. And now we're going to have Lurk as well. Oh, and the Scourge! Oh, that was very nice. It's very hard to use Scourge as an AI, actually. But with a spore, oh, that's great, actually. We've got one spore. And right now you've got to be careful that there isn't going to be a huge cloud of Corsairs. And that's very nicely done by Steamhammer. That Scourge micros, excellent. Mineral only taken by Banana Brain, not ready yet. And Banana Brain still's got the army advantage, so Steamhammer should not be too keen to put pressure on Banana Brain with these units. There is an observatory, so there will be observers as well. Oh, but right, oh, this Lurker was just down a little bit too slow, but this one is doing a lot of damage. And these are the kind of little advantages as a Zerg. You've got to abuse them, really. Because if you have got Lurkers, you've got to keep them down before these things are there, the Observers. And if you've got Hydras, you need to kill Zealots before the Goons are out. And if you do pick up on that kind of spore timing, well, disequilibriums, really, if you've got the upper hand in some respect, you've got to capitalize on it. And the Scourge micro is excellent. That's very hard to get right. That's beautifully done by Steamhammer. Third base now up and running. And yeah, you're now going to have to just win the straight fight, and you need to be able to group an army together, because it's now really 15 versus 30 army supply, and Banana Brain is going to roll across the map with a large army, has got a lot of workers. Steamhammer's problem really, a partial muter switch might do the trick, because once the anti-air is out, you have got a lot of zealots, and the muters are very, very versatile and very mobile as well. Yes, that's very done, nicely done, not overcommitting. And that's very cleverly done. The Scourge are really doing a lot, but the Lurkers will need some backup from the Hydras. Pretty pleased with Sugar on top, but unfortunately it isn't so, and they get killed. And the drone transfers is something that, well, Steamhammer might choose not to do over unsafe territory. And, well, Banana Brain is not really picking its fight, because it's trying to get in here, but there are 5 Sunkens behind the bridges with all the rallies and the standing army. So that's a bit of a money soak, and it would be much easier to just clip this base, clip that one. Oh, this one is under attack as we speak. This one might be a nice target as well, and that is a much wiser choice of action, because the main is going to run out. The natural is not all that important in itself, and you're just losing a lot of units. But now with a Reaver, ooh, it's going to be so hard for Steamhammer to keep his army well grouped and up to strength. And now with the Reaver, it's going to be a lot of damage dealt, and you can see with this Observer, as a Zerg, you might prioritize killing the Observers a little bit more. Yes, here is one, here come the Scourge, but they don't really dare commit for some reason. There is no Goon presence, and now Banana Brain is just going to push straight into the natural choke, disregarding any damage that might be done. The Reaver, ew, fires one shot, but then gets killed, and still 4 Sunkens standing. That's a lot of firepower, especially behind the bridges. And Banana Brain is really sinking a huge army into this defensive position. That's not good, but did take care of these 2 bases, so that's good. Oh, one Zerg can take care of an entire Nexus all by itself. That's pretty sloppy by Banana Brain, but Banana's got a lot of bases, and they have got some cannons for defense, so that's good. And that will just take care a lot of cognitive load off your bot. And now the Reavers are going to hit the Sunkens. And once the Sunkens are down, I fear it will be very hard for Steamhammer to hold this position, because it hasn't got the eco anymore, and it hasn't got the forces. It's 8 versus 50 army supply, and although still a lot of forces are dying here at the bridges, we've now got 2 Reavers dealing with the Sunkens and some Zealots in there as well, and I think that now... Oh, nice storm over there. Oh, and this is... Oh, the neutral minerals are balking Steamhammer out. I thought it had code for that. There is one Guardian trying to come and save the day. A muter switch rather late. It's now 2 muters and 1 Guardian versus 70 armor, 60 armor, 70 armor supply right now. So it's a little bit late, but Steamhammer fighting for what it's worth. That's very excellently done. This base still untouched, but right now you've got 3 or 4, 3 Reavers and some more high-tech units in your main. This late high-tech is okay, but you haven't... Ooh, that was an evil storm right there. All these drones stuck on the neutral minerals. It's evilly done, but I think it's a little bit too late, because right now you haven't got the eco anymore, and Banana Brain is going to be maxed in just a matter of minutes. The entire main is now overrun. Oh, and here comes the Templar. Oh, and the poor Zerglings. Upgrade-wise, Steamhammer is doing okay as well. It's just the overall picture, it's just not the control zone, so the areas it controls and the army it's got, it's just not good enough. Banana Brain, really with an update or two, might be a contender for the big tournaments this year. Steamhammer just as well. Look at all the potential it's got. It's got so much functionality in there already, and it just needs it needs a lot of work, but there is so much in there, and compared to 1 or 2 years ago, it's just a marvel to see, especially the Zerg. The level of Zerg gameplay has arisen so much with the Muta Micro, with the swarm use. You see ultras, almost every bot can make them, and it's just because of the pressure in the early game that it doesn't really come off. I'm going to call the GG because I wanted to cast some more games today. I've got one recommendation. I'll think I'd do that now, sent to me from Josh. It's Insanity Bot versus Flash. And it's not the Young Ho, it's the Flash Protoss, which is not nearly as dangerous, but still can pack an ugly punch, because it will build a lot of zealots and throw them in your face with a vengeance that is not funny if you are not prepared for it. But Insanity Bot, what's it going to do? It's going to build a bunker. Will that be in time for the first zealot? Probably yes, because the zealot went back to wait for his buddy, and that was just a little bit too late, and now the bunker is up. And the natural right behind that for Insanity Bot is there as well, and Insanity is making more... Oh, the zealots did a run by, that's a nice functionality to have, but now the marine count is growing slowly and surely. Now with the academy there, 2 barracks, 3rd barracks being started, eBay there, and I think that if I saw a lot of zealot pressure like that, I might build another bunker and make some more... Oh, here comes the other bunker, and a turret. So Insanity's early game has cleaned up a bit, just very defensive, and I think where it's going, because I normally don't get a recommendation unless it's got some kind of a nukeable action in it. And Flash has got the natural and gas as well, so it can of course do more than just zealots. 3rd base for Insanity, snuck an SCV out, that's very well done. And now with a huge bio army, we've got Stim +1 is prepping as well, might get range 2, because for Marines that's just the gravy, and you need that gravy to deal with a Protoss army like that. Protoss army tearing into the Marines, but doesn't really dare commit at this point, although it's a bit stronger. You've got this Stim and these Marines to deal with. Oh, and there are no medics. Where are the medics? No medics. Oh, there is one medic somewhere, but... Oh, it's here. Crucial mission. Well, the entire army is without medics, and the zealots tear into them, and the goons don't really back them up, so... Flash could win a little bit there by keeping the zealots just a couple of spots in front of the goons. And now the goons are coming in for some kills. You can see they're doing quite excellently and taking some shots at the medics as well. This is not the wisest position, because in full firing range of 2 bunkers you need a lot of staying power to remain there. And now Insanity is going to have the income of 3 bases. The worker count is a little bit higher than that of Flash, but with 3 versus 2 bases it's doing quite well, and immediately taking up to... Well, you can see where this is going. This is a starport, and this will in all probability be, yes, there we go, a science facility. And this defensive position is doing quite nicely, even though the medics are not actually taking part in the fight by healing up all the forces. You've now got range, Stim, +1 armor is coming up as well. And Flash not really taking... Oh, that's an interesting pair of depots. Don't know what that's about. Let's see what the SCV is going to do. Going to build one more. Yes. Okay, I have to ask him what that's about. And now the Protoss army is back for some more damage. But these bunkers are doing a lot of damage. And what might be a nice trick for Insanity Bot is to stim the Marines, get them back into the bunker. And with the readies, I think that... oh, a repair might be nice here, please. Yes, no. Oh, too late now. Kaboom. Yep, there you go. And Flash got a 3rd base up and running. Worker count, excellent for Flash as well. Might build some more once the 3rd base gets up. And, ooh, these rallies are going to grow exponentially, and not really as much defense as just raw strength of production. Lots of marines and ghosts, no extra upgrades. Oh hello, we've got optic flare, restoration, cloak, all kinds of wacky shit going on, but the army size itself is pretty small, and the army micro could be better as well, but we've got a lot of bases. Oh, we've got one silo flashing, this is going to be a silo as well, and this is going to be another base, and we've got still these 3 depots over here, which are nicely built, but I don't know if they are really going to come off. And Flash, what's Flash going to do? Worker count still stuck at 35. Defending all the expansion with 1 cannon. I think that's very nice. We'll have, might build carriers soon or something with this this rover facility. And meanwhile has got quite a decent standing army, but where it's spending its money on? Oh, it's infrastructure really. So it's 1 more cannon, 3 cannons per base, pushing it a little bit. And now we've got 1 nuke ready, 1 more prepping, so it's time to keep an eye on the ghosts, because, Joshua, the author of Insanity Bot, told me, oh god, well, the dropship is going to get killed, but this might be really ugly. That was 10 supply lost and the shields of half the other army, and now the Marines storm in, and they don't really dare commit. Is there another nuke? Oh, there is an observer now, so that might be... No, this one is going to get killed. Please. Oh! No! Ah! Oh god, that was really sad. They saw the ghost. Oh, wait, no! I can't show you. I'll try and show you, because I haven't got this unit portrait, but there is going to come... Okay, so this is the first nuke, and the dropship going to get killed again. So this is okay. And now, where is the robotics bay? I'll need to keep an eye on... Where's the observer? There is 1 observer. Here it comes. Here comes the observer, very slowly. Here are 2 medics. The scan goes off. Where is it? That's the first one. Where's the observer? Here it comes, new from the factory. I think it's going to get blinded. The scan goes off. It must be blind already. Because no... Oh, no. This ghost is targeted. Scan goes off. And there is no blinding going on, but... The units, I would like to see that in a replay viewer with a unit portrait, because this must be a blind observer. And this is just not a way to lose 40 supply at once. And now I believe that the units will storm in. Probably. Is there another nuke? Yes, there is one more. And it's going to be right here. The ghost is cloaked. There is no observer. The observer died as well. Oh, and this is just beautiful, beautiful play by Insanity. And if this observer got blinded, it gets scanned all the time. I think I saw it get hit by something. So I think they are blinding with the optical flare, which I saw over here. That's the optical flare. The observer gets blinded and then the enemy gets nuked. I think that's the way it is. And now you've got almost 100 army supply of fully stimmed, upgraded, nasty marines and medics and ghosts and firebats in your natural. And good luck, have fun getting out of that. So, yeah. Lockdown as well. And Insanity Bot's really enjoying himself. So, GG for that. Let's see, I'll do one more. What have we got? We've got Proxy vs Antigua. Will be the last game of today, because, well, we can't keep on casting games indefinitely, although they are very beautiful, and I would like to do this for a living, really, because I can't, there isn't any money in it, unfortunately. But let's see, last game of today, Proxy, doing really well. Need to remind you, but the Qutuz Purple Way, Crazyos, Steamhammer at the 4th place, That's really good. And Proxy at 6th. So that's not bad at all. Above Kilobot, above Cherry Pie. So, yes. What will we have? We've got a spawning pool with some Zerglings. So no fancy tricks with a quick hatch or an added Evo chamber. Just a handful of lings and then a hatch. Just put some pressure out there and see what happens. I like that. That's a very manly approach for a Zerg. Killing the first Zealot while only losing... no, one Zergling is going here. Losing one Zergling for a Zealot is good. Taking care of a Pylon. I think that's decent, but then you'd have to kill it. And now this one Zergling is going to try and do something. So that's a little bit of pressure. Oh, and now the Zerglings, they haven't got speed. Overlord, ideally positioned, might have a look at the buildings as well. But now some more Zerglings are coming up to help and deal with these Zealots. With 5, are they strong enough? I don't think so. With 7, but there are more Zealots coming up as well. And the Sunkens are not ready. Yes, they are ready just in the nick of time. And although this is rather defensive, it does ensure that you are going to be able to get on with your business and not get pestered by the Zealots too much. The Zealots are doing quite well in killing some Zerglings. This one gets tapped. Yes, that's very nicely done. But all in all, I think that Antigua has got the upper hand right now. With 5 gates of one base, how can you power 5 gates of one base? That's really impressive, and then you won't have as much money for a natural. So for the time being, I think Antigua's got the upper hand with 22 versus 3.5 army supply, but then you really need to bring that pressure to bear and not go scouting all across the map, but just try and make the Zerg build Sunkens or do anything with that. Now Antigua is lucky because there isn't a spire coming up, and Proxy has got a little bit of gas, but not too much. Proxy, what's it doing? It's going for a lair now, so that's rather late, and Antigua is taking the opportunity to build Nexus in the natural. That's good. Meanwhile, Zealots clipping the odd Zergling here and there. That's not as bad as it looks like, because you've got to keep the enemy under control, and if you are keeping in touch with the enemy like this, although you are sacrificing some shield damage, you will be appraised of what it's doing, what kind of units it's making. And now this is the Spire coming up. Oh, it's a Hydra Den. Wow. So it's going to be Lurkers. That's good as well. And now the Zerglings in the middle of the map, they still can't face the Zealots. And the Zealots, they might get +1, because if I see a large number of Zerglings like that, and I've got a Zealot or 2, I think, well, perhaps with +1 they can kill. Oh, that's sloppy. So the question is now, will we have some kind of detection? We've got a core, it's spinning, I believe, for range. Yes, it is. And all across the map, I think Antigua is doing exceptionally well in just keeping the Zerg numbers down. Zerg can't really make a fist of all the stray units he got, but has got a lot of Sunkens. So right now, will we have Lurkers? No, we just have Hydras, and now Protoss is going to do a lot of damage. Where are the rallies for Zerg? There is one or two Hydras are coming up, 2 more Sunkens in the rear. The Zealots have got a lot of staying power. Oh, and the Lurkers are now just being morphed, and that's not good at all. They should have been here. And now finally with the last Sunken, just, oh, and 4 more Sunkens build with the Lurkers, and now it is Antigua's time to run, because there should be... There are some cannons. There is a Robo Bay, but is there an observatory as well? I don't think so. Not over here either. And now it's just going to be a bit of leapfrog, and I hope that there are cannons over here. And there is no observatory. Is that going to be the observatory? No, it isn't. So right now, I think that... Oh, yes, you can have all the Protoss units in the world, but if they can't see the enemy, they are kind of useless. And although there is a 3rd base, throw up a cannon or 2 quickly, and some production. I like that. I definitely like that. There is 1 cannon over here, so that's not good at all. Poor Lurkers, they getting in too deep, and with the cannon and the goons, a lot of Lurkers are getting killed, and that's just not how it's done. Trying to storm this, but you might use some Zerglings for that. Now there's only 1, and that was the last Lurker. So although Proxy had a good chance to kill this part of the base and overrun that base at all, it got focused on the natural choke too much and choked itself. So the game's open again, and this will be a 3rd base with gas like that, but I think that Protoss will have a larger capacity to build a large army soon again, and Proxy is going to go into a muta switch. Well, has got a bit of gas, so not too unrealistic, but right now you are going to have to need an army soon. Oh, and god, we are going to have carriers. So after a good start, this game is going to spin out of control, and after the Spire finished, Proxy is going back to Hydras. They have got some decent upgrades, they have got the potential to be morphed into lurkers, but I believe that a muta switch might be nice. No spore colony. Is there? Yeah, there is an evo chamber, of course, so might build a spore or two. And now Antigua is going to take another base, and where you've got to be really careful as a Zerg, you are not going to be left behind, because oh, now a Dark Templar as well, and Dark Templar's micro is not really as good, but has got the potential to do a lot of damage. And now Proxy is going for this Dark Templar micro is, well, it's pretty bad. So buildings being lost, good thing for Zerg, and now the Zealots incursion is stopped. Army supply is still double for Protoss, but oh, now finally the Dark Templars are getting to work. There is no Overlord, but a lot of damage to the infrastructure is being done. But now with the Carrier and the Zealots and the Goons, this Hydra pocket is getting cleaned up as well. Thing is that Proxy is going to get right out of control, because after the third base, where are the bloody Overlords? Is there Overlord speed at all? No, just don't bother with it, just plain ignore the Dark Templar. Now you are... oh god, yeah, I should end this broadcast soon. Yeah, I don't want to visit my storage space. Oh, and it's still going to be Antigua, because Antigua has got the army count and is overrunning the natural. Oh, so this was really tight for a small moment. But in the end, it is Antigua with the kill. Just a superior army, and I really like production at all the other facilities. So thank you for watching, thank you for coding, keep the games coming, and Shonko will be there next week with the broadcast. For now, I say thank you for watching, and yeah, I can't call this the GG. GG!